Good morning. Today I would like to discuss about inference and assumptions. You may think that, okay, what is the purpose? What is the main cause for inference and assumptions? And also you may think that whether it is significant for students. Yes, exactly. Literally, it is significant for students, especially professional students. Then you may have a lot of doubts and you may raise questions about inference and assumptions. What is inference and assumptions? I'll give the brief explanation about inference and assumption. Okay. Students are often confused between assumptions and inferences. While it may not matter in case of easy questions, but you need to know the difference to handle difficult questions. But once you learn to identify assumption from inference, even the trickiest questions can be handled accurately in less time. Okay, so it is nothing but to see if you learn to identify assumption from inference, even the trickiest questions can be handled accurately in less time. You know what is in the assumption? We are assuming certain things. What's the inference? Inference in the sense we are giving some conclusion depends on certain things. Depends on the reasoning as well as the evidence. That's called inferences. Okay. To start with, let's first see what these two are. Okay. What these two are. Here, the next slide clearly shows what is an assumption, what is an inference. Assumption, see, it is an unstated premises which cannot be logically derived from any existing information. In short, we can tell that it cannot stand on its own. It always dependent on others. It will not stand alone. And also, it always gives some new information. It always engineered some new information. Okay. You may think more of that, okay? These can also be the part of some beliefs. These can be also the part of some beliefs. So, assumption is nothing but it is unstated premises which cannot be logically derived from any existing information. In other words, it cannot stand on its own. So, it always dependent on others, like a class. Okay. Then what is my inference? See, inference is nothing but it's a piece of information which can be logically deducted from the one or more statements. And also it explores the link between the two. The combination of the assumption, maybe it's a true or valid point, and the fact results in the inference, maybe the correct or valid. That's very important. We should be very clear with that. Okay, assumption and inference is nothing but combination of an assumption. Okay, combination of an assumption. Something's valid or something is true, reasoning or some evidence. And a fact results in an inference. Maybe it's a correct or valid conclusion. Okay, sometimes it may be like correct or valid, maybe. Okay. Then what about the assumption fact? Assumption fact is always comes under inference. See, we are assuming certain facts, the valid or true something else. Okay, to reflect in the inference. It reflects in the inference. Am I clear? So next slide is so important difference. There will be a lot of difference between inference and assumptions. See here, you must be thinking that, okay, you must be thinking that difference is pretty simple. Then how does the confusion arises between the two? Well, the confusion here, see, each and every time if there is two, automatically we will have confusion, right? Yeah. So it obviously we will have some confusions. The confusions arise because of the phrases must be true. Okay, must be true. Since neither the assumption nor the inference is stated explicitly in the arguments, it may be complex to differentiate between the two. Am I clear? So it's nothing but assumption plus fact is equals to it will give something inference. That's the main thing. Okay, assumption plus the valid or true or facts. It gives inference. So you may think that you must be thinking that difference maybe it's a symbol, but automatically confusion will arise between the two. Then what's the differentiate between these two? So assumption is we are assuming certain things with the evidence. So what is the inference? Okay, it depends on the evidence and the reasoning. We are giving some conclusion. That's inference. Now, what is the confusion between these two? Maybe the must be true. The phrases maybe get confused. Since neither the assumption nor the inference is stated explicitly in the arguments. Am I clear? It may be complex to differentiate between the two. Okay, so let's understand some important difference between the two. Okay, so as we discussed above, okay, what we discussed above, assumption plus fact is reflects in the inference. Okay, so as discussed above, inference can be logically deducted from any given information. On other hand, assumption is a new information and can never be logically deducted from any given information. Okay, that's the main idea. See, inferences can be logically deduced from any given information. Okay, so on other words, how can we conclude it? So assumption is a new information and can never be logically deduced from any given information. It's always a new information. We can never be logically deduced from any given information. Okay. So inference must be true if the given information is true. See, inference must be true if the given information is true. While assumption must be, while assumption must be true for the conclusion, or given information be true, if see carefully both follows some indicating or neither some true. Am I clear? So it will be like must be true, inference must be true. If the given information is true, while assumption must be true for the conclusion, given information to be true. If you see carefully, both follow should be process. Am I clear? So there will be some sort of a link between these two. Yeah. The next is slide. So tragedy. So what is the strategy to get hold on assumption based questions? So what are the strategy we have to hold on assumption based questions? Okay. See identify the premise. Okay, premises. Identify the conclusion. Identify the assumption. See, in case, okay, we have some sort of difference here. Okay, we discuss about this identifying. Yeah. What's the first one? Identifying the premises. Okay. So here, identify the premises is nothing but, as you would know, okay, we each and every like multiple choice questions or something, some sort of CR questions contain at least one premises. So premise is some information or fact. The first task is to identify the premises in the question. A good idea would to be to look out for the indicated words like owing to, for example, because, since, for, as indicated by, for the reason that, given that, and we know this, by, etc. So identifying the premises, what is it? Identifying the information and the correct fact. Okay, the first task is to identify the premises in the question itself. We should identify the premises in the question. A good idea would be taken out from the indicators words like owing to. What are the words I have incorporated? What I have mentioned it before. Like owing to. For example, because, since, for, as indicated by, for the reason that, given that, we know this, by, etc. etc. Okay, we can take it, we can look it at from these mentioned things. Am I clear? And also, premises are considered to be true without any doubt. We should be considered it's true without any doubt. We don't have any oscillation on that. We should be very literally, we should be very clear. Also, do not let your personal beliefs prevent you from identifying the correct premise. Okay? Let your personal beliefs prevent you from identifying the correct premises. Okay, then you may have a question, identify the conclusion. Then what does it mean by identifying the conclusion? Identify the conclusion is nothing. Once you have found the premise given the question, the next step is to look for the conclusion. See how it gives. See, once we find the premises given in the question, the next step is to look for the conclusion. Conclusions are often accompanied by words like accordingly. Hence follows that, clearly, as a result, must be that, consequently, shows that, thus, so, etc. So we know that what are the conclusion, what as a consequence, as a result. Okay, so thus, these are the conclusions we know very well. Yeah, so once you have found the premise given in the question, the next step is to look for the conclusion. Am I clear? My point is clear. Okay, once you have find the premises given in the question, the information or the fact, the valid and the true fact, the next step is look for the conclusion. That's the main idea, right? We should have to give the conclusion. Conclusions are often incorporated, like accompanied by words like accordingly, hence, follows that, clearly, as a result, must be that, consequently, shows that, thus, so, etc. Am I clear? So these are the points we should give that for the conclusion. Am I clear? So next, identify the assumption. That's very, very significant. And this is a turning point of us, because we are giving some inference based on the, depends on the reasoning and the valid examples, all the evidence with, okay, depends on all those things. We are providing some inferences or conclusions. Am I clear? So when you know the premise and the conclusion, it is easy to figure out the assumption. Obviously, when you know the correct information or the valid fact and the conclusion and the inference, it is easy to figure out the assumption. Yeah, we can easily figure out the assumption. And also, as discussed before, see, the assumption is a hidden or unstated part of given statements. Okay, putting in other words, it is connection between the premises and the conclusion. Okay, I just discussed about identify the premises and conclusion. Now we are on the track on assumption. How can we identify the assumptions? Okay, so what I trying to convey is, as we discussed it before, the assumptions are hidden. It will not be transparent. Remember that, or unstated part of given statements. Putting in other words, it is a connection between premise and the conclusion. Am I clear? Basically, the assumption is that a part of the statement which the author has skipped while moving from facts to conclusion. You are expected to find this missing link by utilizing your reflective thinking abilities. So, assumption is nothing but something is hidden or unstated part of given statements. Basically, assumption is a part of statement which the author has skipped while moving from facts to conclusion. Okay, it's nothing but to do that. You are expected to find this missing link by utilizing your reflective thinking abilities. In case question seems to be complicated, too much complication, okay, check which option fills the gap between the premise and the conclusion. This will help you arrive at the right assumption. This will help you, arrive at the right assumption. It is better to avoid formulating assumption before reading the option, since we tend to make assumptions based on our personal beliefs. Okay, tend on the personal beliefs. So are you clear about these three things? So I will repeat. First, identify the premise, identify the conclusion, and identify the assumption. Okay, I will recollect them. So identify the premise is nothing but, okay, so if any CR questions is contain at least one premise like information or facts, the first task is to identify the premise in the question. A good idea would be look out for indicated words like going to, for example, because, since. So premise is always considered to be true without any doubts. Am I clear? And also do not let your personal beliefs prevent from you identifying the correct premises. Okay, so it's nothing but we should know the correct valid information. Okay, let your personal beliefs prevent you from you identifying the correct premises, correct informations. Okay, so we should identify the premises in the question. What is a valid fact and the information we should identify from the questions. Then identify the conclusion is nothing but we should find the premises given in the question. The next step is to look for the conclusions. So conclusions is always okay. So often accompanied by like words like accordingly, hence, follows that, clearly, as a result, must be that, consequently, shows that, thus, so, etc. Okay, we should be find the premises question in the given question. The next step is to be look for the conclusion. Yeah, this is identifying the conclusion. The main turn is what's the main turn? Identifying the assumption. Identifying the assumption. Then when you know the premise and conclusion, it is easy to figure out the assumption. As discussed before, okay, the assumption is a hidden or unstated part of given statements. Putting in other words, we can tell that it's the connection between premises and the conclusion. Okay, that's a main turning point we can give. Okay, so it will be like, okay, you are expected to see it's something is hidden or unstated, right? It's a hidden or stated part of giving some statements. Nothing to be incorporated in that. Then immediately there is connection between the premises and the conclusion. Am I clear? And also basically the assumption is the part of the statement which the author has skipped while moving from facts to conclusion. Okay, am I clear? See, the assumption is a part of the statement. Okay, which the author is skipped while moving from facts to the conclusion. It's a thing. See the turning point? The author has skipped while moving from fact to the conclusion, while being the part of the assumption. That's the basic things which we cannot change. Am I clear? So basically the assumption is that part of the statement which the author has skipped while moving from facts to conclusion. You are expected to find this missing link by utilizing your reflective thinking abilities. Am I clear? And also, I can give one more example. See here, in case the question seems to be much complicated, check which option fills the gaps between the premises and the conclusion. This will help you arrive at the right assumption. Okay, so check the options fill gaps between the premises and the conclusions. This will help you arrive at the right assumption. Am I clear? So I can give one more points. I can add one more point to explain you or to get clear crystal of that. See, it is better to avoid. Okay, it is better to avoid formulating assumption before reading the options, since we tend to make assumptions based on our personal beliefs and biases. Okay, it's better to avoid. See it's better to avoid formulating assumptions before reading options, since we tend to make assumptions based on a personal beliefs and the bias. A good way would be to negate a given answer choice to check if the conclusion can be arrived at or not. Am I clear? So these are the strategy to get hold on assumption based on the questions. So these three: identify the premise, identify the conclusion, and identify the assumption. I just gave the brief explanation about all these three. Okay, next we shall move on to the next slide. So here we have some strategy for inferential questions. Okay, some inferential questions. So already I told that inference is equals to fact plus conclusion. Yeah, already we have here, right? Understand the questions. So strategy for inferential questions. What is my inferential questions? What is strategy we are following for that? We should know. Yeah. So first of all, you need to be sure that the question is asking for an inference. Okay. Okay. First, you need to sure that question is asking for inference. Look for the words like assertion, conclusion, inferral, etc. So inference-based question generally appear in the following terms. Okay, what are the following terms we should have? Okay, I will explain. So first point is understand the question. So understand the question is, if you observe carefully, like inference is equal to fact plus conclusion. Fact plus conclusion. Then what are the points we can incorporate for that? I will explain now. See, you need to sure that question is asking for an inference or not. We should be very cautious, or we should be sure about that. Okay. Next, look for the words like assertion, conclusion, and inferred, etc. So inference-based questions generally appear in some sort of some criteria terms. Okay, I will tell you. Information, the above information supports which are the following assertions. Okay, statement, whether the supporting statement is true or not, we should be followed. Okay, so first point is, what are the points we should understand the question? How can we understand the question? That's the main thing, ma'am. Understand, how can we understand the question? What are the terms we should acquire the criteria? See, sometimes if they give some information, we should be information supports to that, some events or something else. Okay, it should be the following statements. It should be in the form of statement. So the above information supports which are the following assertions. Second point is what conclusion can be drawn from the evidence above. That's very important. See, if we are giving some things, okay, we should know that what conclusion can be drawn. What conclusion can be drawn from the evidence. That's also very important. Am I clear? Which of the following assertion is most strongly supported by the evidence? By the evidence above. Okay, see, which of the following assertions is most strongly supported by the evidence above? Okay, and what is the next? What is the last point? So, what's the last one? Which of the following conclusion can most likely be drawn from the information above? That's the main thing here. Understand the question. Am I clear? See, I will read out all four information. Like I will recollect. See, if you are giving some sort of fact or the information which is supported, and it should be the following statements. And the second thing is the conclusion should be drawn from the evidence above. That's also important. Then the following assertion is most strongly supported by the evidence above. Final point is which of the following conclusion can most likely be drawn from the information above. So these are the points are very, very, very significant to understand the questions in the inferentials. So this is one of the strategy we are following in the inferential questions. Are we clear? And the main thing is, if you observe carefully, inference is equals to fact plus conclusion. Yeah. And one more thing we can incorporate, like stating it another way, it is a logical conclusion based on the facts stated less directly. Stated less directly. Am I clear? So stating it in another way, it is a logical conclusion based on the fact stated less directly. Stated less directly. Okay. And also simplify the statement. Second point is simplify the statements. So what's the main point we have in the simplify the statements? Okay. It's nothing but the statements given the question often make use of jargons and appear complicated to the students. See, jargons is something, so technical terms. For medical, we have technical terms. For engineering, we have technical words. For literature, we have technical words. Like Shakespeare always used to use some technical words, some literature technical dictions in his novels, especially all plays. Okay, dramas, he beautifully portrayed some technical, that's a jargon, some extent which cannot be understood. Jargons, yeah. See, yeah, simplify the statement. We should be giving a simple statement, which should be understandable by the audience or the students. The statement given in the question often make use of jargons and appear complicated to students. In such cases, it is the best to rewrite the ideas, the informations in your own words. This will make your task easy. Okay. See, what are things we have, information or fact, whatever we have, we can rewrite in our own style, ideas and the information. We should give some simplicity in our language. Then, in our own words. Okay. So, this will make your task very easy. Okay. Evaluate options. Once you have simplified, okay, next option is evaluate options. Evaluating some options. Okay, we are assessing the options. So once you have simplified the given information, the next task is to check which option follows from it. which options follows from it. While evaluating the answer choices, keep the following things in mind. Okay, so what are things we should be keep in the mind while you are evaluating the options? Okay, okay, so what are the points? Okay, I will tell you, I will explain what are the points we should remember while we are evaluating the options. An inference can never be a direct line from the given passage. It should rather follow from the given facts and statements. An inference is not a restatement of any of the information statements. For example, for instance, I can tell, if the statement is Meera is happy, the inference cannot be Meera is not sad. Am I clear? Am I clear? See, this conclusion will not be restatement. What we are giving some information, valid, true, fact, okay, depends on the reasoning, depends on the evidence, depends on the examples. We are giving the correct, accurate conclusion. Depends on the correct assumption. Okay, real fact. So if I give some assumptions that Meera is happy, I cannot give in the conclusion Meera is sad. Meera is not sad. So extreme answer choices should not be chosen. Okay, extreme answers should not be chosen. The selected answer should lie within the scope of passage. You should not assume anything unrelated to the given passage, given statement. An inference is drawn with respect to reader, observer, and the listener. Okay, that's a main idea we should see. If you are writing some novels or short stories or some literature related or something else, articles related to our subject. Okay, we are writing in the sense we are enhancing our or we are developing our writing skills as well as we are proving that okay, I have a good sense in writing, and we are publishing certain books. Once we are publishing certain books, it should be automatically we are giving most importance to the readers. So by giving the respect towards the readers, we are giving some, okay, some exposing some input in that particular book. Maybe it's a novel or short story, something else. Am I clear? So we are giving all the inferences should be drawn with the respect of readers, observers, listeners, or some other people some other people who can give more attention to our inference. That's also very important. See, whatever we are writing, okay, without evidence, without reasoning, without a good conclusion, there will be nothing to be. Nothing will get. Okay, that's the main idea. Okay, so additionally, I can tell only one thing. Additionally, okay, you can always, okay, use the elimination strategy if you're able to spot the answer easily. Elimination. We are not supposed to mention those things because sometimes we are not able to spot the correct literal answer, right answer. So we can eliminate. We are not supposed to incorporate certain points in the questions. Am I clear? Yes. And next one is conclusion versus inference. So indirect conclusion is often mistaken for inference. In such a case, remember that a conclusion is more specific statement, while an inference is a more generic statement drawn from the given statements. Okay. Sometimes statements, when beers are injected with certain chemicals, they start showing erratic behavior. Inference. Chemical injection are not good for beers' behavioral patterns. Conclusion. If particular chemicals A and C are given to the beers, they will always display erratic behavior. Also, the conclusion may be stated in the given passage directly or indirectly, but an inference is never stated in the passage. So, as you know, guys, the inferential question future in like verbal reasoning session, it is a crucial to pay special attention to learning the right approach for it. Okay, now maybe You people are well aware for the strategies to handle two most types of question, verbal reasoning. Example, understand the difference between, say, Lara and Diana are having conversation regarding some homework they received the previous day. Lara, okay, I'll give this example and you may understand. Okay, so conclusion versus inference is nothing but, okay, we should give some direct conclusion and often, okay, what are things we are giving in the inference. In such cases, remember that conclusion is more specific statement. Okay, more specific statement. While an inference is a more generic statement drawn from the given statement. Okay, that's why I gave one example. See, one normal statement is when beers are injected with certain chemicals, okay, maybe A and C, they start showing erratic behavior. Statement. What should be the inference? The information, in fact, see, the chemical injection are not good for bears. Okay, bears behavioral patterns. Okay, this chemical injection is not good for the bears behavioral patterns. Then what about the conclusion? If particular chemical A or C are given to the bears, they will always display some erratic behavior. Erratic behavior. Okay, that's also main idea we have to give. Okay, see, I'll give an example. There are two persons like Lara and Diana. Diana, I have, okay, I can give one examples like Lara. Okay, there are two persons, Lara and Diana. They have some conversation. I will give that conversation, then you may understand. Okay. Lara, have you gone through the articles emailed by Professor Gamilia? This is really concise and helps students to learn concepts easily. Okay. Here the second statement is an assumption. Have you gone through the article emailed by Professor Gamilia? It's really concise and helps students learn the concepts easily. We are assuming certain things. Okay. Lara. Okay, Lara has told like that. And what about Diana? I said, I haven't read it yet. So I think all your doubts are cleared now. Second statement is an inference made by Diana, considering fact and assumption stated by Lara. Am I clear? So what Lara told, so have you seen the mail, okay, which was posted by our Professor Camelia? I think it is very concise and very understandable by our students. Okay. Okay, that's a something is assumption. Maybe it will be easy. Okay. Maybe it will be very easy. Then Diana, what Diana told? Diana is telling that, okay, I think all your doubts are clear now. Okay. All your doubts are clear now. It shows that what Lara has given, okay, the assumption and considering fact is given by the Diana. Okay. So Lara, yes, of course, do you read it? If you have any doubts, I'm sure she will help you. Okay, Lara. Then, but how do I get in touch with her? Do I have to wait until next week class? Lara, just email her. She will clear your doubts. This is an inference. Okay, Lara infers us, assuming your professor can read and respond to her emails. Very easy. Okay, very easy. Just email her. She will clear your doubts. This is an inference. Okay, Lara is telling that, okay, like assuming that, okay, if the professor read that, she will definitely help me. If you see her, if she read her, she would have helped me or she would have helped her. Okay, this is some assumption. Okay, so now you know the difference between the assumption and the inference. Okay, so inference is something is information or fact. Okay, how to make inference in a reading comprehension? So reading comprehension is nothing but, okay, we should read the book. Okay, we should give a close reading and we should get my own thinking and we have to come to the conclusion. I think This is essential for the students. I think uniform is mandatory for all the schools and colleges students because, okay, my idea, I have to incorporate my idea because due to this reason. Because people don't have some inferiority complex and they may consider as an equal in the school and colleges level. They may not feel like complex, inferiority complex. So that's the main things we should have. So inference and reading some comprehensions. So we should read, we should give some close reading, and I should incorporate my own thinking plus inference. Plus inference. Am I clear? Next point. Yeah, this is a slides which I have given. Have I gone through article emailed by Professor Ken Gamiliel? It's really concise. See how it has given like, yeah. Just now I read. So why I didn't this show this slide? Because you should understand, okay, what is the point of this? We can go through this. Okay. You can go through, then you may understand what is the differentiate between inferences and the assumptions. Okay. Finding the assumption in critical reasoning questions. So an essential skill to develop the gate critical reasoning in reading to, okay, find the assumption or at least uh, missing links between the premise and the conclusion. Okay, so what's the point of giving some differentiate between the those things like essential skill develop for gate critical reasoning is reading to find assumption or at least the missing links between the premise and the conclusion. Am I clear? So in order to do this, you need to read actively and identify the premises and the conclusion. From there, you need to identify any missing links or the leaps in logic between the two. These are usually subtle, difficult to spot, but with a lot of practice and a critical thinking, okay, it will start come like naturally. It will start come naturally. Am I clear? So in order to do this, you need to read actively and identify the premises and the conclusion. From there, you need to identify any missing links or the leaps in logic between the two. These are usually subtle and difficult to spot. But with a lot of practice and the critical thinking, okay, until it will part of the come some naturals. Am I clear? Then I just given one example. Okay, a group of college students participate in the sleep study. Half of them slept for a full 8 hours, and other half were woken up 2 or 3 times during the night. The half that slept the full 8 hours uninterrupted performed better on average on a logical reasoning exam the next day than the other half whose sleeps was interrupted. Therefore, people have the best brain function when they sleep for a full 8 hours without any interruption. Am I clear? Yes, that's the main things. Okay, people have best brain function when they sleep full night, 8 hours. Okay, bottom of form. There are actually quite a few mistakes links here. Okay, look here. Sample of people. The people who were tested were all college students who are on average or age 18 to 22. However, the conclusion is about people in general, which is a leap on logic. It's very leap on logic. Leap in logic. Highest score on a logical reasoning test doesn't necessarily mean a higher brain function. The word best, okay, the word was that study discussed in the argument only tested two different sleep scenarios. Just because one is better than the other doesn't necessarily mean that is a best. So bottom of form, what's the how to bottom of the form? Okay, there are actually quite a few missing links. Here, let's look at a few. The sample of people, the people who were tested were all college students who on average are aged 18 to 22. However, the conclusion is about people in general, which is a leap on logic. So leap in logic is nothing but higher score on a logic reasoning. Test doesn't necessarily mean a higher brain function. Okay, so that's the main thing. It's the bottom of the correct answer to strengthen our assumption question is usually something that fills the hole left by the missing link. Okay, the correct answer should be very strengthened. Our assumption question is usually something that fills in the hole left by the missing links. Okay, so for flaw questions, it highlights the missing link. For vacant question, it exploits that missing link. Therefore, when reading a critical reasoning passage, you need to read actively, identify the premises and conclusion, spot the missing links between the two, okay, and also missing links to identify the correct answer. Okay, so critical reasoning. How can we reading the critical reasoning? Okay, I just gave the 3 points, such as read actively and identify the premises and a conclusion. Spot the missing links between the two. Like the missing links to identify the correct answers. Okay, that's also very, very important. How to make inference in reading comprehension. So inference in reading is the ability to understand the meaning of the passage or the text without all the information being spelled out. See, inference is reading the ability to understand the meaning of the passage of the text without all the information is being spelled out. Readers take the clues that are given and draw conclusion based on their own worldwide and worldview and the personal experience. Okay, so inference is nothing but reading the ability to understand meaning of the passage of the text without all the information being spelled out. Readers, take the clues they are given and draw conclusion based on their own worldview and the personal experience. Okay, next slide. See here, while we are reading clues in the book, we should take the main outline or main ideas from the book and my own thing. Okay, my own views. So it reflects in the conclusion. It reflects in the conclusion. Close technique. So close technique for teaching inference is based on the psychological theory of closure. Activities using the close theory can teach students to infer the meaning behind text by recognizing and completing patterns within the read. Okay, so the close technique for teaching inferences is based on the psychological theory of closure. Activities using the closed theory can teach students to infer the meaning behind text by recognizing and completing patterns within the reading. Am I clear? Yes. The next slide. So general sense. The concept of general sense helps students infer the meaning of words or the passages of text based on the context clues. So general sense activities help students understand implied word meaning, even though the words themselves may be new or unfamiliar. Murderers are usually incarcerated for long periods of time than robbers. Okay, this is general sense of we are getting some clues for close test. Am I clear? So I just given some examples. See, using these examples that mean the same as a word. A student is trying to understand is a word to infer meaning. Okay, inference helps students use their own background knowledge to find out what they do not know. Using examples from personal experience in the following sentences help students infer the meaning of the word. Okay, so gregarious. Those who enjoy belonging to clubs, going to parties, and frequently inviting friends to their homes or for dinner are gregarious. Okay, those who enjoy belonging to the clubs, going to parties, and frequently inviting to your friends to their homes for dinner or courteous. Am I clear? Opposites and contracts. Opposites and contracts helps like students the information they already know to infer meanings to other words. So when the meaning of the word is not implied by context or general senses, it can be inferred by using a word that is opposite or stark contrast to the meaning of the word is given. For example, if one person is fearless and the other is timorous in a sentence, it can be inferred that timorous means frightened, afraid, or timid, since the sentence is attempting to show the difference between the two. Okay. For example, if one person is fearless and other is timorous in a sentence, it can be inferred that timorous means frightened, afraid, or timid, since the sentence is attempting to show the difference between the. Am I clear? Okay, next slide. So actively plan. Okay, you can use this link and you can use this link and you can go through that. Okay, you can use this and you can go. So why is this answer? See, for these inference questions, you will need to return to the past. Where in the passage? Well, it will help you if you have taken notes. You have read through the passage the first time. However, here you can also skim because we are working with a proper noun. Okay. Okay, Van Horst, we can find him in the third paragraph, okay, which explains the difference in the prices of two artists' work 8 guineas would have probably been a fair price the work had been a Van Condors. For a true Caravaggio, though it was the okay, so we are giving some proper noun, we are looking further, we are skimming, we are gathering only the main ideas. Okay. Why not the other answers? Say A is an incorrect. We don't have any information about the value of Van Gogh's painting during his lifetime. Okay, so first it's a painting. Okay, and also we have some sort of things. Okay, so we have no need of showing certain things for represents. How can I use this practice in my test date strategy? See, inference question is nothing but we can give some tricking questions, but practicing before the test, it will help you to hang out these between the lines questions, important things to do. Okay, so we should be understand the premises in the questions. Okay, so my thing is, okay, I should give only one thing to students are often confused between the assumption and inference. Well, it may not matter in case of easy questions, but you need to know the difference to handle difficult questions. Okay, for example, if we have some, okay, identify the assumption from inference, even the trickiest questions can be handled accurately in the less time. Am I clear? Yes, we should have a logical derived from existing statements or informations, okay, and we have to detect it from the one or more statements. Okay, so I think you may understand what is the assumption and inference. It's nothing but okay, assumption is it's like something is it cannot be stand on their own. Okay, generally it gives some new information. Okay, but inference is a piece of information which can logically detect it from one or more statements. So here we can go. We have gone through like closed test techniques. Okay, some dialogue. So how can we identify the premises? Okay, so identifying the premises, identifying the conclusion, and identifying the assumption. So It's nothing but, okay, assumption is unstated premises. Information is the piece of information. Okay, I hope so you may understand. Thank you for your kind cooperation. Thank you so much.